At 61, Johnny Depp has begun speaking in ways he never dared to before. After years of public battles, emotional turmoil, and living under the constant spotlight of fame, Depp is reclaiming his life and sharing the truth behind choices that once baffled the world. His decision to move away from Hollywood and retreat to Somerset, England in 2023 wasn't about disappearing. It was about healing. Depp has always been known for his larger-than-life persona, but what he reveals now is a man who spent years struggling with the weight of fame, personal losses, and betrayals. His retreat was not an attempt to hide, but a decision to step away from everything that once defined him. What began as a quiet escape soon became a period of introspection, creativity, and self-reclamation. The quiet life in Somerset. Johnny Depp's life in Somerset was a far cry from the glitz and glamour of Hollywood. The estate he moved into was expansive, covering over 800,000 square meters, but the lifestyle was simple. Depp found solace in the peaceful surroundings of the English countryside. He spent his days waking early, taking long walks and reading outdoors, reconnecting with ordinary moments he had long since lost touch with. For months, those close to him noted his silence. He barely spoke, not out of anger or isolation, but exhaustion. Depp had spent decades under constant scrutiny, living a life that was often dictated by others' expectations. In Somerset, for the first time in years, he could breathe without the constant weight of fame pressing down on him. His choice to retreat wasn't a sign of weakness, but a necessary step towards healing. Finding healing through art. While many speculated that Depp had retired, he was actually undergoing a quiet transformation. A major part of this rebirth came through art. Though painting had always been part of his life, it became his refuge in Somerset. He used painting as a way to process the emotional pain he had carried for so long. His art became a personal therapy, an outlet for everything he could no longer express with words. His 2024 art exhibition, A Bunch of Stuff, stunned the art world. Instead of the bright pop art style many had expected, Depp's works were deeply personal, filled with surreal and haunting imagery. These pieces reflected a man who had been through a great deal of pain and had begun to rebuild himself. With prints selling for up to $50,000, Depp's art proved that his voice was still potent, though now expressed in a more intimate form. Music, a return to his roots. In addition to painting, music became another pillar of Johnny Depp's healing. Music had been his first love, long before acting or fame entered the picture. It was natural then that when he distanced himself from Hollywood, he would turn back to the guitar. Reuniting with Alice Cooper and Joe Perry, Depp returned to the stage with Hollywood Vampires. But this time, his motivations were different. He no longer performed for the adrenaline of the crowd or the rush of celebrity. Instead, music became a personal journey of healing. On stage during their European tour, Depp played with a newfound calm, as though every note grounded him. When the band performed David Bowie's Heroes, Depp's voice had a vulnerability that struck a chord with fans. It wasn't a tribute to Bowie, it was Depp's own survival story told through music. Sobriety, a personal decision. One of the most significant changes in Johnny Depp's life during this period was his decision to embrace sobriety. Since late 2022, Depp chose a path of personal healing, not through rehab or public declarations, but through a private commitment to himself. Those who had seen him in the past remarked on the difference. He had lost weight, his eyes were clearer, and the tension that had once defined his face had softened. Depp's commitment to sobriety allowed him to live more fully in the present. It wasn't about public approval or praise. It was about taking back control over his mind and body. He no longer lived the chaotic, high-energy lifestyle that once defined him. Instead, he found peace in the quiet rhythms of daily life, taking morning walks and spending time in the garden, a stark contrast to the high-octane life he had lived in Hollywood. The Amber Heard trial, confronting the past. Despite his transformation, the shadows of Johnny Depp's past still lingered, particularly his tumultuous legal battle with Amber Heard. Their relationship, which began in the public eye, became one of the most brutal and highly publicized celebrity controversies of the decade. The accusations, the media frenzy, and the trial damaged Depp's career and reputation. Hollywood turned its back on him, and the tabloids painted him as unstable. Depp initially remained silent, believing the truth would emerge on its own, but the damage was done. He was removed from major franchises like Pirates of the Caribbean and Fantastic Beasts, and his reputation seemed irreparably tarnished. The battle came to a head in 2022 when Depp filed a defamation lawsuit against Heard, not out of revenge, but to reclaim his voice. The defamation trial, a moment of survival. The defamation trial that unfolded in 2022 was a defining moment for Johnny Depp. It was a chance for him to speak the truth and clear his name. The trial revealed not just the extent of the abuse he had allegedly suffered, but also the emotional toll the entire ordeal had taken on him. Over 6 weeks, Depp described the physical and emotional damage he endured. The jury ultimately ruled in his favor, a victory for his reputation, but the damage to his soul was far deeper. Depp later admitted that he didn't fight to win, he fought to survive. The trial, while clearing his name, didn't undo the pain or the years lost in the media firestorm. Yet, it provided a form of closure, allowing Depp to begin rebuilding his life without the constant specter of public judgment. A quiet transformation, living without the spotlight. After the trial, Johnny Depp retreated even further into his quiet life. His time in Somerset had become a sanctuary, a place where he could rebuild his life without the constant gaze of the public eye. Locals described him as calm, kind, and almost anonymous, a far cry from the chaotic figure he once was in Hollywood. He began to embrace a lifestyle of stillness, reconnecting with himself in ways he never had before. The emotional toll of his earlier years seemed to fade, replaced by a sense of clarity and peace. Depp's journey of transformation wasn't just physical, but deeply emotional. For the first time in decades, he seemed content to simply exist, not perform for the world. Returning to the stage, on his own terms, Johnny Depp's return to the film industry was quiet, almost unnoticeable. His first major public appearance since the trial was at the 2023 Cannes Film Festival, where he premiered Jean du Barry. The reception was far from typical. Depp was met with a 7-minute standing ovation, not just for his performance, but for his survival. It wasn't a grand comeback. It was a quiet acknowledgement that Depp, after years of hardship, had found his way back. The roles he now chooses are a reflection of his own transformation. He no longer seeks blockbuster fame or to fill the shoes that Hollywood once demanded of him. Instead, he chooses roles that align with his personal journey, embodying vulnerability and introspection rather than the larger-than-life characters of his past. A new path. Freedom in uncertainty. Johnny Depp's path forward is uncertain, but for the first time in a long while, the uncertainty feels like freedom. He no longer chases career validation or the approval of the industry. The projects he takes on are chosen not for their fame or financial gain, but for their meaning. Directors like Mark Webb and Terry Gilliam recognize Depp's transformation and approach him with roles that allow him to explore new emotional depths. Depp no longer sees himself as a star to be polished, but as an artist, creating meaningful work on his own terms. He isn't seeking redemption, nor does he need Hollywood to define his worth. Depp's journey is one of quiet resilience and self-discovery, one that will continue to evolve at his own pace. Living a life on his own terms. At 61, Johnny Depp is no longer chasing fame, accolades, or the career he once had. He is living a life on his own terms, choosing art, music, and self-reflection over public adoration. His time in Somerset has allowed him to heal, and now his return to cinema is marked by a deeper sense of purpose. Whether or not he continues to take on roles in Hollywood remains to be seen. But one thing is clear. Depp is no longer defined by the expectations of others. He is simply choosing to live, to create, and to embrace the freedom that comes with living authentically.